Chill.
We're back. Hello.
We're back. Excellent. We're off to a great start.
Really great start.
Hey, everybody. I hope that you had a wonderful September. Yeah. Seth, how was your September? This is going so great. We are back from break, and it feels so good to be back because this show is a tremendous amount of fun. But also, I've missed you, Seth, and
you too, buddy.
Let's maybe chat a little bit about what we've been up to for the last month. Same as all of our lovely friends in the chat. We would love to hear what you've been up to for the last month. Were you on any cool projects, anything like that?
Just some general catching up, general catch up.
General catch up. My favorite
Colonel Mustard,
Union officer from the from the Condiment Wars.
Well, so General Ketchup says my September was very busy. We had to get my movie sketch. We had to get that into decent enough shape to submit to some festivals, and so we hit that deadline, got that off. Had a couple screenings as well, some internal screenings, which sounds like a medical examination. We tested positive for thrills and chills and laughs. And
it's a roller coaster of a thing. My wife just sent me some text. Break a JPEG.
Break a peg. A JPEG with J in the parentheses.
JPEG. Yeah. Break a leg.
Parenthetical J is actually my rap name going forward as well.
And I don't know if it's true or not, but someone was like, "You say that to someone auditioning so they'll end up in a cast." I was like, and I had never known that.
Wow. That's a first understanding that for me. My mind is sufficiently blown.
I just thought it was like, give such a performance that you really like overdo it out there, but it's so you end up in the cast.
Yeah.
It's so simple. Anyway,
Michael, how was your? We forgot to introduce Michael.
Let's general catch up with Michael.
Yeah, general catch up. Michael, how was your time? Oh, Michael, you don't look so hot. Oh. You know what I just realized?
Still loading.
I just realized Michael's out this week.
Damn it, Michael!
So.
Okay.
All right.
So much for the learning portions of the show.
Yeah, so much for learning this week. We're going to be off to a really fun start here with Vex and Chill. We've got some. Hey, Ash. First off, tell me about you. What was your September like? Your Hosh-timber?
Oh, my September was full of family, and still continues into Sothoctober. I couldn't do it. Hoshtober. It was right there. I've been seeing lots of family, and got to see my sister Catherine, who's amazing. My parents
Sister
got to
Catherine.
visit Canada for the first time, which is lovely. My dad's been out here once, but my mom got to come out for the first time. And I also got to see Eddie Izzard when I was in Boston, which was pretty
Oh, your old pal
hilarious.
Eddie. Mm-hmm. You just like visited with Eddie Izzard or saw him doing something?
If she's free, I just we get together.
What's up,
No, she's doing a remix tour, I think. I can't remember what it's called. It's not remix.
It's called Eddie's version is what it's called.
Eddie's version, Eddie's story. But it was phenomenal.
And it's a Taylor Swift joke for all of you.
Yes. Well done.
Yeah. So now we've done a Taylor Swift joke. I'm looking at our checklist. General catch-up. You've written this.
Our family did become pretty big Swifties on our road trip because we drove to Boston from here from our island. It was that first little stretch had us worried, but
so many people I know during the strike have just been going to see Taylor Swift live, seemingly in multiple cities. Is
it an easy thing to just go do?
Apparently, I wasn't on the list.
Yeah. So we're just going to ask the chill audience if you have tickets to Taylor Swift, mail them too.
Please invite Hashi and I to see Taylor Swift. Neither of us live in the same town or country. Town and country. Neither of us are reading the same town and country. What did we want to do next? I forgot. How about playing some general catch up with our business daddy? We had some fun new releases and announcements. Some of which, Hashi, I'm not fully versed in. So
that's true. Seth had time off, and I also had time off during September since we were in between shows. It didn't mean that we weren't entirely tethered to work here and there for stuff, but Maxon did have a major update to kind of everything. So if you're out there and using our awesome Maxon stuff, make sure you update Maxon 1 and then update all of the things. So yeah, here, look at these pretty things. And if you're
some of the stuff you made, I've seen. I saw the robot head and the really cool water comp thing with the spaceship that you did.
Oh, that was some fun. And honestly, we could get into this one right there. We could get into so many of these fun things today. And you know what's really handy about Maxon is that they actually did, appropriately titled, made this lovely video called "What's New in Maxon 1."
Do you think we should watch it on the show right now?
I think
our bosses would appreciate it.
Good way to educate everybody on that.
Us to educate ourselves.
To educate everybody. I mean, we know.
Yeah, we know all
we totally know all.
Basically, did this,
but this was edited by the lovely Chad Perkins.
Thank you for immediately crediting who did do this. After I made the joke that we basically did this, I was like, I should say Chad did this, and then thank you for saying that. We love you.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Whoever is tasked with the what's new videos, it's a difficult thing when you're working at a place. There's so much work. I know that you were tasked with a lot in more Red Giant days. I've taken it on like once all the way, and then I was like, nope. I'll be a contributor though.
Yeah.
Just
always a contributor.
If we consider calling it Max 1 yet.
Maxon.
But then, I think we could transition to just calling the whole operation Max 1, and then at some point in 2 years in the future, we'll just get rid of the Max and just call ourselves 1.
The logo used to split from Maxon into Maxon 1 because I think I animated that, or Aaron did a version. I don't remember.
Let's see.
It doesn't now. Now it comes out of smooth satin sheets from a night of illustrious compositing. Let's hit play. Let's watch this. What's new? Can you make that theater mode there for us so we don't have to worry about?
Absolutely. Let's do this. Here we go. We'll play. We'll comment. We'll pause. I might do a sound check too. I have no idea if this will play properly with sound, but here, kicking us off is the delightful Paul Babb.
At Maxon, we're dedicated to helping you bring your creative concepts to life. Whether it's giving shape to characters through ZBrush,
there's Paul right there,
sculpting seamlessly with Forger, breathing life into animations and dynamic motion designs using Cinema 4D,
that mouse is heavy,
achieving photorealistic renders via Redshift, enhancing visuals with the prowess of Red Giant tools, or infusing videos with unique stylized aesthetics through Uverse. We've got you covered. Our latest release of Maxon 1 focuses on providing power at the speed of creativity.
I love power.
We recognize Maxon tools are where you feel you're most creative. So we've prioritized performance, so your creative spark is constantly fueled. Our tools are faster than ever, with performance gains in Cinema 4D, Redshift, and Red Giant. Of course, we've also added some great new capabilities to your creative quiver as well.
Look at that.
Cinema 4D 2024 adds improvements to modeling.
Oh, not Matthias, that's Rick.
Enhancements to the new unified simulation system. Great additions to the node editor.
Like Matthias at first.
Even better Redshift integration, and much more. You'll notice immediately that Cinema 4D 2024 is much faster.
It did, Rick.
Cinema 4D 2024 includes incredible performance improvements in all areas, while keeping the same intuitive workflows you know and love.
Look at that face.
With over twice the playback performance compared to previous versions of Cinema 4D, you can experience real-time responsiveness in many scenes.
I love real-time responsiveness.
Pyro has been incredibly popular since its first release. Now in Cinema 4D 2024, you can set the initial state to specify exactly how your Pyro simulation begins.
That looks so good.
You can also emit Pyro directly from particles and the MoGraph matrix object, creating fire, smoke, dust trails,
I haven't played with that, and I want to.
Color, scale, and other attributes. Now it's easy to art direct pyro at a low resolution and then up-res it to impressively high detailed simulations with the single click of a button.
Wow.
And using the new cache list, so you can directly compare different versions of your cache volumes with each.
Cache list? I didn't know about the cache list. That's awesome.
We've also added rigid bodies to the unified simulation system.
This is what I'm pausing. I'm so excited about
this. Means you can now simulate rigid bodies together with soft bodies, cloth, rope,
I actually knew about this. I'm very excited to mess around with it.
Take advantage of GPU processing and shape simplification for incredible performance when simulating complex meshes.
Get out of the fish.
We've also enhanced Cinema 4D's modeling toolset with this release. Use the new Select Pattern tool to repeat polygon selections across the surface of your mesh.
That's cool.
Or use the new Projection Deformer for enhanced animations that quickly move points from one object to another. Take advantage of the Bong Tag's new style to eliminate shading artifacts.
This is incredible.
Or use the all-new normal editing tool to gain full control while tweaking the vertex and polygon normals.
As opposed to the weird editing
tool.
We
revamped the Vamp Manager with the ability to transfer UV and weight normal data from one mesh to another.
Manage your vampires.
The new node editor in Cinema 4D 2024 now has scaffolds and notes to make your node setups more readable. Use scaffolds to visually group nodes and move them around as a whole.
Like how Rick says nodes.
Adding or removing nodes to a scaffold is as easy as dragging it in and out. The new notes allow you to easily add comments in various colors, sizes, and styles. And as always, new nodes have been added to give you more flexibility in controlling your assets.
And this T-Rex
is part of it. Has a new option that allows you to view
It's permanent part of the UI.
Point indices, T-Rex. Both in object and component modes. The modeling brush and magnet tool have been improved with a new surface smear mode that retains the surface flow, and both have a new preserve boundary setting that preserves both mesh and selection boundaries when you use the tool. Starting in Cinema 4D 2024, Redshift is Cinema 4D's default render engine.
Look at that.
And we've made the integration even better. You can now choose to create Redshift materials when importing popular exchange formats like OBJ, FBX, GLTF, and USD. And simplified versions of Redshift materials will be exported via the same formats, as well as Cineware for Unreal. This makes it easy to design content in Cinema 4D and Redshift that's destined for interactive projects.
Editors and compositors are going to nail the huge assortment of great new features in Red Giant. Real Lens Flares has a big update, starting with the exciting ability to use After Effects lights to control flares.
Look at this.
This allows you to easily use 3D tracking data to accurately place flares in a scene, or direct your flare with a parallel light or spotlight cone angle. You can also now control the distance of a flare in Z-space. Using this feature, combined with the new distance effect size and size effects brightness parameters, you can now control the throw of the light in a 2D track. Real Lens Flares also adds a new ring projection, which is great for those classic 1970s and 80s movie looks. And in what is sure to be a favorite, schmutz can now be illuminated by the background, or your flare, or both.
This voice sounds like all of Michael's family members were awake when he recorded this.
We've also added a draft mode.
It really does.
Simply enable draft mode on your After Effects layer, and the render quality will be reduced by a factor of 4 to increase performance.
Look at that.
When you go to render, draft mode is automatically ignored, and your flare is rendered at full quality.
There you
and remember
go.
that
So
Real Lens Flares and many of these new features are also now available in Adobe Premiere Pro.
It's a good looking flare.
Universe has hundreds of presets to help you get started, and this release adds over 50 new presets to inspire your creativity and give your designs and edits a head start.
I haven't messed with any of those.
There we go.
Magic Bullet Looks also adds dozens of new presets to give you even more options for professional creative color grades. Also, the OCIO configuration in your After Effects project is now seen and synchronized with Magic Bullet Looks, so you don't have to worry about getting consistent color throughout your pipeline.
That's really smart and great.
Trapcode Particular has hot new features.
Oh yeah!
Introducing Combustion, a new fluid dynamics option to create fiery looks with particular particles. Control attributes like temperature over life as particles ignite and then turn to smoke. If you've ever created particle trails from a parent and had to increase the particle count significantly in order to create a line, Now, with the new stroke from parent feature, those lines are created for you automatically.
You can just create a stroke between the particles instead of having
fast
to dial
and
up the
easy
number
and at perfect quality, while still having control over essential attributes such as size, color, and opacity over life.
Oh, I want to play with that today.
All through this year, we've been regularly releasing new sets of captions. Maxon's collection of tailor-made materials, models, and nodal assets to help you kickstart your projects, including plant assets by Laubwerk, home decor models by Pavel Zoch, and redshift materials by Fuchs and Fogel that are perfect for architectural visualization, product shots, and motion graphics. There's also a new brake spline modifier by Rocket Lasso, which allows you to evenly or randomly subdivide splines with spacing, great for creating dynamic stacks with objects swept along curves.
Dang.
And speaking of regular releases, at Maxon, we're continually striving to not only bring value to artists, but also to add features that will inspire you to create your best work. And in case you missed it, we released many other incredible features.
In case you missed it, that lion had a hat on.
Redshift added a jitter node to create color variations across multiple objects that use the same material, as well as a matte cap shader node to render non-photoreal surfaces. Particular added several new gradient interpolation models to create more pleasing blends of colors.
These rule.
It also added more control over what child systems can inherit, as well as a built-in ground plane for bouncing particles. And of course, we added a huge new collection of presets that show off the power of all these new features. And last but not least, our mobile sculpting app Forger got a ton of great new features, including sweep,
have you messed around with Forger?
Area lights, multiple cameras and orthographic views,
it's fun.
nulls and object hierarchy, and the sketch tool, which allows you to create 3D geometry by simply sketching with your finger or an Apple Pencil.
At Maxon, we're committed to regularly providing fresh content, additional resources, and important features for the tools you rely on every day. And we're continuing to do this with our 4th major update to Maxon 1 this year. We continue to be amazed and inspired about how our community uses our tools and what they create with them.
I wish right then they
so
showed
join us virtually or in person at IBC in Amsterdam in September, where we'll feature a range of compelling presentations from a diverse group of talented artists.
This has already happened, but one thing that did happen after this video was is this.
Oh yeah. I like how I'm pretty confident they announced that or they hinted at it or announced it, and then people freaked out, and I think there was some confusion in our team about whether there was supposed to be that big of an announcement, and you're just stroking you're just like,
I'm just
playing it anyway.
It's on Pixelogic's YouTube as of 2 days ago, and was announced at the ZBrush Summit that was hosted by a couple of really amazing people. Our own Ian Robinson and my brain is going to forget everybody. And Louis Tucci doing some cool stuff. Of course, Z Paul, as we call him, doing amazing things. And also, I think Anna Carolina and a handful of other international guests, which is pretty cool. So a lot of that should probably live on Pixelogic's page in case you want to see some of the coolest stuff in ZBrush.
For sure.
And I feel like ZBrush is definitely something that we've got to...
that's a season 4 goal.
I got to get some ZBrush into my life, you know?
Yeah. You know, I think we were very intentional in season 3, I know for sure. Maybe season 2, but season 3 for sure, we were like, we're going to learn more Cinema 4D and get more into it. And I think we did. So why not make season 4 ZBrush and...
Hey, I like that.
Everything
we'll
else
bring the whole
here,
Maxon family, and then we'll bring our whole Chill family along to learn all that
Hashi,
cool stuff.
I might even be willing to learn proper redshift rendering in season 4.
What? Wait, redshift? Oh, we need a drop that makes it sound terrifying.
It's like what? Because here's how I feel when anybody asks me, Seth, how do I do this in redshift? My answer is always this.
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
So. Maybe season 4 will be the season of the shift.
The season of shift, as seasons are known to do.
Yes.
Those shifty seasons. But I had noticed, Seth, that it looks very different in here, season 4.
It does. We did some fun new graphics, and
we did do some fun new graphics.
We changed the logo a little bit. We took our names off of it, mainly because we wanted to put. Fun fact: we wanted to put Michael's name into the logo because we love Michael, even though he's no longer with us. If all of you, he's alive, but I really think that everyone should tag Michael in a social post and say, "We miss you, Michael. Please come back."
Throw Michael some love. We'll wait here for 7 minutes.
I want you to say, "We miss you, Michael. Please come back." Hashtag VFX and chill. Hashi and Seth made me do this. And post just a picture. Don't include Hashi and Seth made me do this. Don't include that part. We miss you, Michael. Please come back. Hashtag VFX and chill. And then there's a picture you find in a Google image search of Michael, please. And it's even better if it looks like we want people to think that he might be dead and be concerned and to contact him so he'll never leave us again.
Yes. Michael, we miss you. And also that phenomenal 3D Michael is pretty astonishing.
It's fun when you want to make stuff look... my trick has always been lean into the style of something looking unfinished or bad and make that the style. And it makes things a lot easier.
It's like our brains fill in the extra and can also appreciate the style.
They do. I also got a fun plugin that for OBS this year that lets me do things like this. Whoa, we're moving around. We're moving
all around. Nick Smith was asking how he can order his Please Remember to VFX and Chill sticker, which I feel like may be more of an in-person situation.
We intentionally designed this logo so that it would be unavoidable to have stickers at booths at various shows, etc., and in public and in person. So you can expect and hope for those in the future. And if we do, I would like for everyone to stick them everywhere that is legal.
Absolutely.
In the world, not on yourself, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You started talking about graphics, and I talked about Michael. I don't know if we want to get into graphics, or do we want to talk about what do we want to do from here?
I think that it could be fun to share a little bit about our process of. We went through a walk over the last 3 weeks, actually, of figuring out exactly how we wanted to present season 4 to you, and we decided we'll do it the hardest way possible, which is to be. I don't know if I'm revealing stuff that I'm not supposed to.
No, reveal it.
But we just we ended up zeroing in on a fun template that would pay homage to different movies that we love based on whatever the typed in prompt at the beginning there is. And so we can. Do you have it pulled up?
I do. I'd have the not final version pulled up. This is the template.
Can anybody guess what movie this was?
So it started with that screen that here. Let me just open up import the latest intro. So it started with this screen. I liked the idea of doing. To finish that thought, we wanted to put Michael's name into the logo, and then it was too many names. So we were like, let's just VFX and chill. And that's how we got this.
Let's just chill.
I wanted to do AI is a big part of the things that we're doing right now. We love generative fill. And so we wanted to do something like that in the intro. And I thought originally it'd be a splash screen, like the waiting screen would be this. We'd type something in like fire, and then it would just slowly burn. And that turned out to be not as streamlined as I would have wanted it to be as a workflow for like a weekly updated thing. So,
plus there are only like 3 funny like objects. It's like a banana, a cat, and then you're done pretty much.
But then you do the cat, and it wouldn't generate the way you'd want it to generate. So like it was proving to be more work in the future than I wanted to have. So then it was like, meanwhile we were trying to figure out what is our intro. Like, we had one idea that was you found this twister truck, and you were like,
I built this. Actually, no, I didn't build it. I modified a twister, a variety of trucks that were roughly the same kind of truck into the twister truck, and then posted my render of it. And then, oh my goodness, let me I'm going to pull it up because. Okay.
Are you pulling up Nate's thing or Nick's thing?
Wait, no.
Oh,
who's somebody? Oh yeah, I am picking it.
Okay.
Thing. Yeah. Let me just find the actual link for it.
Well, so you'd found a truck, you modified it, and your idea was like you could Back to the Future wheels, like go into hover mode, and fly around or do stuff. And you were like, I think you started with it could be like fly around like it's flying through places and stuff. And I was like, that sounds like it's gonna be a lot of work. Why don't we do like a Barbie? Like you made some cool grid animated thing, and it was like, oh, let's do like the Barbie traveling sequences, but let's do that with a bunch of different movies.
I can play one of the, and still might become a.
It's so
something
fun
that we do, but like, yeah, the idea would be like the G.I. Joe version, like playing with action figure Hashi and Seth.
That's right. We're gonna have like hands and sticks and
driving
stuff
through some stuff. Which is like an old one that we've been kind of wanting to do ever since we did. We had 1 week, I don't remember what the episode was, where we did played around in Unreal Engine for a while, and we were just adding hands to the existing characters. So but yeah, lots of fun.
That same week we did like the toy replacement stuff. So I did like the Guardians thing and and the Stranger Things thing. So like we thought, this could be fun. And then I opened up this Twister truck and was playing with it, and I rigged it. I don't think I can do it auxiliary animation in here, but I rigged it to where the wheels.
You want to switch back to you?
Oh yeah. I rigged it to where the wheels could. In Elements auxiliary animation, you can run a slider and they go into hover mode. They rotate, and this has just temporary flat cards in place to represent the awesome, like the absolutely killer promo image you made for this season, the AI versions of us with Michael on the screen. And so I took this and I pulled the portal element from Production Crate that we used in season 2. It's just a fun portal element. And I used it also as Elements environment, like to light the truck and stuff.
Really good idea.
And did this rough animation flying through the portal and put chill on the back of the truck as opposed to Jeep. And this felt like a fun, like Universal ride. Like it felt like the Back to the Future ride. And then the idea was like, this truck rules. Like, I kind of want to fly around it. I don't want to just do the Barbie thing. And so I started just pitching your own ideas back to you slowly over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. And
we were out of the office at different times. And so like we would like brain dump all of our ideas somewhere, and then several comments and weeks would go by, and then someone would like pitch a new idea, which was occasionally the same idea as well. It was like slightly.
And when it came from me, it was almost always the same idea that you had pitched like weeks before, and I had shut down for practical reasons. And so now we ended up with this template, and the idea is what we want to do, and now that we're saying it out loud, we're never going to, but we want to be able to swap out the movie every week, so that the prompt can be a hint at what the movie is, and then the car will swap out and be different, and then these featured so like the 360 background will change, the featured background layer will change, and then some featured background layer number 2 can change their null objects, I think. And so the idea is we want to make a different one each week. Now, you modified this. You went through and added... we wanted to add like some physics to it, and some like you had made some higher quality digital versions of us, and we wanted to implement that into the truck.
Some wild stuff. Yeah. So we ended up with I have a file pulled up here. Let's see. I don't remember if I have the truck hidden or I deleted it. I must have deleted it. But here's our very exciting. One of the things I like to do is basically try to use as few like actual keyframes as possible, and rely as much as I can on just physics and little things. So I'll quickly simplify this to play. So this is a lot of fun. This is just some a bit of experimentation with with IK rigs to be able to like attach our hands to the sides of the truck, bump us around with sort of the same bits, so it'll work with the physics of the truck going back and forth. These little cloth sims attached to our characters so the ties can be flapping in the air, and they're all roughly based on. Let's see, where did I save our image for the? Oh, it's probably in my weird AI folder.
It's right there. One? Is that one? It's so cool.
Oh yeah, here we are. So here's our their back image with these very, very perfect representations of all of us. I feel like we all look this good all the time.
Yes.
And I like Michael existing in
a TV, which
in TV form.
When I told you we should do that for the 3D versions, your solution to that was so funny and brilliant.
It's a very fun. Let's see.
I expected it just to be like a layer, and you put actual 3D Michael into a TV, and then I was like, "Well, do the physics and have his face be able to hit the glass." And now it's like one of my favorite things. I want to bring that in and make it a drop that we can throw on the show whenever. In fact, Michael should just be in a TV on the show in the OBS. Now that I'm thinking about it,
that's perfect. I mean, there's honestly nothing you can't do once you have a scan of your head in 3D. So, yeah, like big props to Michael for getting this one. This is fantastic.
Michael Pollack says the 3D models also look like you guys crouching during a rap break in your boy band song. That is 100%. What we always
except
look
that
like.
We need to throw on like a 15 millimeter lens and be right here.
Nick Smith says these look like the Dick Tracy action figure versions of Hashi and Seth.
They are absolutely that. In fact, I think we'll only refer to them as that from now on. But yeah, this is the new Seth that has a bit of. Let's see, what have we got for Seth? We've got. Where's your head? We've got
passion and
passion. Okay, so let me reset these here. So we have, I think we were able to get you down to kind of a neutral Seth, which was difficult because I think that we're coming from I don't remember if this one we were coming from a neutral face. So we have neutral Seth, and we have a bit of a smile Seth. We have worried Seth.
Oh no.
Which I like. And we have wow Seth.
Wow.
Which combines well with a smile. Like that's exciting. Wow.
Yeah.
Eyebrows up. Eyebrows down. But some of these pose morphs are fun because you get into this weird territory where like
oh yeah,
Michael, we have a few. Let me just solo him. Whoops. Oh yeah, Michael, who's not here to defend himself. This is the scan as it is, and I have a slightly neutral-ish face, and then a kind of sad-ish face.
That sad face looks more like awkward Michael.
Like dread.
Yeah.
And then cartoon scared, which like starts scared, but then we can go all the way to like YouTube thumbnail scared.
Yep.
And cartoon happy. This becomes the Burger King thing.
There we go.
And one fantastic thing about pose morphs is every now and then, like the cartoon happy, if I dial it negative, this becomes disgust.
This is Michael's inner voice right here whenever I'm talking on the show.
It really is. He'll look like this to your face, but inside feels like this.
Let me open up the title thing. Let me see if I have that.
That title is so crisp. I really love the transition you did for that.
It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite things. Like, so in doing that opening, that intro, I stumbled upon this like glitch look that I really liked. Let me see. Open that back up again. It was doing this little intro bit. I wanted some kind of glitchy look for like basically like the entity. Like this is what AI generation looks like, right? And it's one of those things like these are the kind of effects that like I never know what I'm doing. I'm just
creativity sparks
poking things until suddenly it looks incredible, and then I just lock everything down, save a million animation presets, and then try to figure it out later. So the really cool like look I was able to do with this uses masks and various layers to, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the glitch itself is made up of, let me see if I can find, so like here are the glitches happening. So let's turn stuff off and then start turning it back on. Let's remember that reptile is not being used. Optical glow, transforms not being used. Chromatic displacement, colorama, fractal noise. Displacement map, CC composites, set mat, unmult. So this should load, is the logo. Then I'd duplicate it and then work with its own, like work with the glitch part of it on its own layer. And I'd add a fill to fill the letters with black so they would start at a black place. I'm unmulting that for some reason, and I don't remember why I'm doing that. And then set mat. Oh, weird. That unmult really messes with things.
And maybe it fixed something when you had like a glow coming from behind.
I think it probably did fix something.
Or something weird.
Well, so the idea then is we got those first three were kind of canceling each other out, it turns out. But then we're applying a fractal noise on top. And then we have Colorama that is using, this is my Chillerama animation preset that uses all of our
customized color noise.
Yes, this is our VFX and chill color palette. And you get a certain look from turning on interpolate palette and turning it off. And they're really not a big difference, I guess, in this version, unless it's taken a while to render. Let me see. Nope, I guess, I don't know what was different. This is like the 8th iteration of this thing. Colorama, and then the fun chromatic displacement you put onto it. The displacement map I forgot to turn on. So that is the fun. Okay, sorry. So forgot to turn on, first off, we have this version. Then we turn on displacement map, which is using a displacement map that looks a little something like this. And now you get this cool look. Then on top of that, then you lay the fractal noise onto that, on top of that, and then Colorama. So then you have like,
look at that.
And then you do chromatic displacement on top of that, and suddenly you get these really wavy, warpy, weird. There aren't clean edges. There are a few here and there, but overall not a ton. Then optical glow. And this is also in quarter resolution, so I can turn this to full and we can see what it really looks like. So again, this is without the chromatic displacement and load. And this is with. It gives it a more organic feeling. Then optical glow, and a trick that I've been doing lately with optical glow is to, on size by channel, set red to 150, keep green at 100, and set blue to 50. So you get this like aberration-y kind of glow.
If you haven't played with that, it really makes it, like come up with a look for your whatever project you're on that has a certain type of glow, and like you can kind of,
absolutely,
you can make really cool looking things like that. So that it's not just the standard, white glow.
Totally, and then one layer of shine on top of the glow, which makes it just feel like. That really like seals the thing together. So then underneath that, you have the standard yellow version of the logo. Load, please. Please, my dear. There we go. And then you have in between, so with these masks are all, the paths are all parented to the main layer. So the main layer is doing the mask animation, and then everybody else's masks below it are parented to these masks up here. So that I don't have to adjust masks on multiple layers. And I can toggle them between add and subtract so that in some cases the mask is adding, is making the is making something visible or making something else invisible. A big thing though is on this main layer with the glow, I actually have multiple masks that are, so I have a main mask and then I have the second mask underneath it that is parented to that. So it's the same mask, but then the expansion is turned down. And what that allows.
That's a great way to do any of these like reveal slice kind of things.
Yeah.
Like disintegrations or there's so many things where you need just, to isolate the particles that are on the fringe, basically.
Exactly. And so that allows the edges of these masks to reveal the glitch. And so then the idea is that I wanted it to like wipe between a couple times between the yellow logo and then some alternate reality version of it, some other generative version of it. So then I have a couple different versions. I have the Ecto, like the green Slimer Ecto version, which should turn on now. Boom. And then that's using Universe Ecto. Then you've got the Electro version, which is using Universe Electrify. And then
Joel Petrell in the comments noticing that Colorama was updated to actually have the color picker finally.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really cool.
That is
cool. Just catching up on a couple of comments. David Fairchild noticed the Michael Max headroom obvious cinch. I was considering whether or not Michael should have the
sunglasses and the hair.
Jittery post effect, which I never put together. The Max headroom was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids neighbor dad. That's Max Headroom, man.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But I love Max Headroom. So yeah, then you get this look, and when it's all combined, it suddenly became this really cool, like graphical looking logo. And the big thing that helps is the font Recoleta that we're using. Also helps it feel really designy and graphical and borderline illustrated. And then the last little touch, I wanted like a retro flair at the end. And I used Universe No Light Factory Easy, I think is what,
No Light Factory Easy.
And
baby.
there's a lens in there called Rock Concert that was exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to look like this, like,
it's perfect.
ILM, 80s ILM, whatever, flare. And so that happens right at the end. It's the perfect little extra polish. And so there's a version of it that's playing up above us on our Talking Heads screen. And every now and then it will bippity boop come through with different versions, which there's something in Universe I had never played with before. Like this, it's basically
what?
It's like
there was a feature of Universe you didn't use every day.
Yeah, so I'll get to a couple of these things. It's wiping between pretty much various Universe plugins and the occasional like Pixdether effect. But the thing I had not ever used, I'm gonna not mess with this project file anymore. I'm gonna open up the show file. Don't save. Let me do a new copy. I'm gonna show you. I don't know how long, this is how terrible I am. I don't know how long this has been in Universe. This is a new plugin. VFX and chill. And I don't like the properties panel. Just going to say it.
Oh, properties panel.
I'm going to say it live. It's like, hey, you wanted me? No, I wanted my character panel. Okay, cool. I'm going to hang out here. Hey, you want me again? No.
It looked like you accidentally closed me. I'm back.
Exactly. All right, so we have this logo here. That's all fun. I'm going to crunch it a little more. And Universe Stylize. Did you know about, what's it called? Symbol Mapper?
Symbol Mapper? Why, if only someone had made a cool walkthrough of how to use that.
Did you do that or did Michael do that?
No, Michael did.
How long ago? How long has this been in Universe?
It's new. I think it is from. I'm not positive. I think it is from the spring this year, but I might be wrong because.
Well, this is how out of it I've been. I hope Simon's not watching and firing me as we speak, because
I'm going to switch myself back to HD.
I didn't do it. I didn't know about Symbol Mapper. Look at this. Oh, I'm not. Sorry.
When we share our screens, Skype, for efficiency's sake, like pairs down our video stream. I don't know why.
It does. Sorry. Symbol mapper. What? I'm sorry, I didn't know about this and haven't talked about it a lot, but
look at this.
This is nuts. Like, and you got all these fun presets in here. Like, anyway, so I used that as one of the wipes.
Like, you used to be able to kind of do this if you set up a custom sprite in, form or now particular to kind of, do like your matrix rain kind of things. But this is just so great. And like, you can go wild with this in terms of, because it'll figure it out.
It's super cool. So I enjoyed it. And you can do like, let's see. So like in here, there's various shading presets of some kind. Where is it? Oh, maybe not. I forgot how I did this.
I think your image might need to have shading in it to begin with.
Oh, that's what. Oh, yeah. So let me do real quick, just like a text. I'm going to do fill color, RGB.
Oh, wow. You're really using the actual
and
properties.
Then, dude, this is a fun way.
I'm a raster boy. I've got it. Like, I need to convert all of my stuff into.
Well, this is a fun way to get
sized pixels ahead
to get set up for Colorama. Is if I just do like a ramp up there, and then let's do Chillerama, and modify. Let's do or output. Let's turn on interpolate palette, but then I don't know if there's a better way to do this, but I go set matte. Oh, I can't because that's got an effect on it. I forgot. Modify alpha. There we go. Or something. Change empty pixels. I forgot. What do you do to get it? Get the edges to fix the edges.
Wait. Throw the set matte back on there so we can see it, and then.
The problem is it's setting it. That's not setting the matte. I need to set the matte based on the symbol mapper, not on the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Unlucky. But if I turn off symbol mapper, like that's a quick way to get. If you end up with.
Look at that. That's pretty.
Right. Look at that. That's fun. Just that's why I did the text animator adjuster thing.
So much more color.
Boopity 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 boop. So. Where was I? Fun stuff. That's all. Just made the fun glitchy thing. That was my fun thing that I did. I figured that out, that glitch, like end of last week, early this week.
That's fantastic.
What about you?
I was thinking that over here we could talk a little bit about. Let's see, who was it in the chat? It was Joel again, suggested that maybe we could demo our new combined physics system. And I was thinking that a fun way to do it would be to simulate a little Michael trust fall right here. So here's our friend Michael. I'm going to turn him upside down. And
are you sharing your screen? I don't think you are. I'm looking at
I forgot I turned it off because of the thingamabobber. Am I sharing now? Maybe.
Yep.
Hey, so here we go. So we've got Michael here, and there is a new tag in town, which is pretty great, and something that some of you have probably tried to do before, where you're like, I know how to make like bullet tags and physics and knock over boxes and stuff, but then I want them to interact with the other kind of simulations. Why don't they? Well, now they can with the going over right to here and saying simulation tag. And I think they even feature it right up top just so you know that it's new rigid body. And so I can make Michael a rigid body object. I've made the plane a collider, meaning it'll basically just stay put where it is, just like in bullet physics. And then you can play and it'll be just like your little rigid body. But I'm going to pause here because I don't want
My little rigid body?
My little rigid body. I remember that wasn't allowed to be sold in most places just because of a silly misunderstanding. But let's
better than my big rigid body.
Test.
I think that sounds worse.
Physics test. Did I spell that right? I don't think so. Maybe I did. So let's see. Let's call this the ground. And let's make this, I don't know, what's a good ground color? It's not
blue.
Just slightly more exciting. Blue. Blue. Or will people think it's water and get confused?
I don't know. They'll be dead before they think about it.
Don't get confused, people. All right. So then I'm going to add another plane right here. And you'll see that I have these 4 little dots right here just for fun, but you'll see what I'm doing with them. So this plane, I'm going to add a simulation tag to cloth right here. And actually, no, let me modify it a little bit. I'm going to scale it up a teeny bit because some of this has to be that we don't know if it's going to work for sure.
Yes. So
I'm going to make the ground more gray, so it's clearly it would hurt to land on. Kind of a Cinema 4D gray. So here's our little blanket. Let's go ahead and make that a why don't we do one like a pattern or something like that? Surfaces checkerboard. Look at this, just some nice fun. Here's a little checkerboard. We'll have like 5 things on it there. Nice. All right, and now I want to use some cloth belt. So I'm going to convert this into plane, and then I'm going to say simulation tags, cloth. And if I were to play right now I have this cloth falling, I've got Michael falling, and I've got this ground plane to intersect with things. But now I can use all of these really cool things. Like I can tell these, I can go to the plane itself, and I'm going to going to point mode. I'm going to grab this corner and say simulation tags, cloth belt. And then I'm going to belt that to, let's see, what are our spheres? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they're in reading order. All right. So I'm going to say, let's belt this to sphere 3. I'm going to say set. You'll see it draws out a nice little string there. And we're going to do that for some of the other corners now too. Let's grab this corner. And the other thing I could do is I could just select these 4 corners and set them. This is just exciting, I guess. What? I'm just going to do it the easier way instead of cloth belts. Sorry. We're just going to do this, and we're going to select these 4 edge points like that. And then here under surface, under your cloth tag, you can say dresser fix points.
I barely know her.
Look at that. And if you fix points, you'll see that they glow purple now, I think. Or something like that. You can see the fixed points. And now, if we play, let's try it out here. What settings should we have on our surface? It should be a little bit stretchy. Definitely. It should be a little bit bendy. And let's see if this is enough to save Michael. Wow. It is! Look at that.
Again, Michael is not set as he's not a soft body here. This is hard body Michael.
Hard body Michael.
And look at that.
Look at that. So now we can catch things in cloth, which is a lot of fun. Let me throw this cloth into a little subdivision surface just to make it pretend it looks even higher quality. Look at this. And also, we kind of, not we here on the show, but the collective we at Maxon spent a lot of good time just basically like weeding all of our, through all of these things. And if you download the latest, which is Cinema 4D 2024, you'll notice uniformly, things work faster. And it's just really nice because the faster you can iterate, the better the experience.
Abraham Lincoln said that.
Mm-hmm. Now let me go enjoy this play, and
in the theater. This play.
That's what he was on his way to see a play. Not that play. Why did you guys go there?
Lincoln. Wow.
I'm going to see if I turn up the bounciness and the stretchiness, and turn the target length down from 100% on the cloth. Let me see if we can get a little bit more elastic action now.
It's elastic action.
Elastic action. Oh, no, still catching them right there, which is great. Let's turn up the stretchiness a bit more. And, whoa, get engagers. Oh, no. Oh man, the frame rate saved Michael there. I mean the frame count. Dangerous. Anyway, all the crazy things you can do with these kinds of interactions is a lot of fun. Plus, like you could have ropes interact with this system, solids, and it's just really nice to have a unified physics system so you can jump around and maybe one day create something as fantastic as this, if you like.
Well, that makes me realize that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
Oh no! You revealed it. Look at that guy.
Spoiler alert.
Now you built this.
I built
it from scratch,
except for the steering wheel. I'll admit.
Of all the things,
someone has beat me to it. I was so tired. At the end of it all,
I'm very excited about how that's going to come out.
I am excited to figure out how it all works.
And I just realized, there's a shot in my movie that I won't tell you when it happens. Well, whatever. Like 3 people watch this. Spoiler alert, a car gets knocked over at a certain point.
What?
And I was having to do this with collider tags, old-fashioned collider tags. And now I am wanting to try it with the rigid body. Was there something else I was going to do on the show today, or can I pivot to this?
I mean, unless we're, creating a 3D model of General Ketchup, I don't know what.
He does deserve that. The 3D model made up, like General Ketchup would be made up of everything we've done over the past month.
Definitely.
So
sounds
like a lot of work.
I feel like physics simulations are like seeing what we can do with those is pretty fun.
Yeah.
One thing that one little physics test that I would be curious to do is something I think we might have touched on the show a little while ago, but we are becoming more C4Ders.
So much so that we're just becoming.
So much so we even have a term
4D
for it.
Things.
Seth, it always makes me so happy when I pull up one of the iterations of Seth 3Ds on our server, of which there are 127.
I'm not making any of them either. They are all your creations. You have made every single one of them.
So one fun thing when you're in this line of work is that, I work from home, and that's very, very nice. And I love and appreciate my family for supporting that, because it's difficult to have someone like right there, but also not interacting with you a whole lot. And so, and also as a dad, you want to go interact with your kids and things like that. And it's hard to figure out, like, how do I prioritize my work time? And some days you get really bent out of shape, and I'm sorry, honey, for when I get bent out of shape, and we chat, we try to get through Hashi being busy in his room, and it'll usually be something like me looking like right at my wife and saying, like, I need you to respect my work boundaries and work time and the work that I do here. And on my screen behind my head, if you could imagine exactly what's on screen right now, is usually what it'll just be.
I'm so sorry, Mandy. I really am. And I didn't ask him to do this. This is his choice.
Seth asked me directly.
No.
Yes, he texts me. He's like,
I need a new me.
I didn't like that last head sculpt.
Okay, what's terrible about that is that there are that people who know me really well and know me for a long time wouldn't put it past me to text you that. At the intervals you're joking that I did it at. So I just want to go on record as
the show, as
legitimately, I've never asked him to make a digital me before, and he has made 29 of them.
27, but like there's a couple of
And this Woody Allen one is the worst.
What is even happening with that? Are the textures loaded in?
I guess they're loaded in weird.
Oh, their preview. Yeah, one little handy tip is you can go into your preferences and set the default resolution for textures, and I think they're set to optimize performance, of course, but
default resolution, let's turn it up to 1024. Oh, that's way less Woody Allen.
There you go. Though I feel like it would have been kind of fun to like bake out like the claymation version of you too.
the tired, forlorn claymation version of me. Well, Grommets, I guess that's it for us forever. Perfect impression.
I mean, is a perfect impression. Nailed it. So some physics sims. You want to show off that? I was thinking about a very bizarre thing that I think we did a little bit on the show, but I feel like it'd be fun to remind people that you can do.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should reveal what I'm doing or if I should just show people it as we go.
Should I go to your screen?
Well, you go ahead. You go ahead with a van first.
First, I got to remember what I have set up here. So I know I have this cube. This cube is working and acting, so that needs to get a collider tag, and then these planes need to get a collider tag, and then this model here needs to get a. Oh, I haven't updated.
Oh, you're not updated.
I am, but I'm not in the updated. Oh, okay. Let's go to you while I open up the updated cinema. I have it. I just haven't. I have to connect it to things in OBS before I can show it. So let's go to you.
So I have a very silly idea. Just because I did something similar to this the other day. It was actually for a shot in your movie, Seth.
Okay.
That we're talking about the physics of like ropes and cloth and rigid bodies and things like that. But one other really cool simulation that we've played around with a bit in here is pyro, which is a fire simulation, obviously. So we've got it's like the easiest one in the world, and it's even more optimized now that you just basically add an object and then you go up to it, and just like any other tag, you go simulation tag pyro emitter. And you'll see that it's added a little pyro tag right here, and it's also added this pyro output option. And it's this object was confusing to me at first, but then I realized what the point of it is it's actually an object that shortcuts you into your scene settings, pyro settings. So if you delete that, it doesn't disappear. It's still that's still in your attributes of, if you went to your scene settings up here. Project settings, I mean. But if you have this little tag here, then it's just right there in your object selector, which is kind of nice. But anyway, here's pyro. You just press play, and you get beautiful fire. And we played around with this a lot last season.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that is pretty cool about the newer pyro is the ability to save simulation iterations and also up-res these if you're going to do more meaningful work with them. I'm about to not do especially meaningful work. So here's what we're going to do. Pyro plays like this, and it's pretty interactive. So if I go to my pyro scene settings just by clicking on that little guy right here, I'll try to maximize this a little bit more. Under here, we have some buoyancy settings. So the density buoyancy is set to this -5 value, which means that if it's like fuel that's on fire, it would kind of fall. But the temperature is set to kind of rise up, obviously. So, but if I turn it to a negative value here, you'll see that suddenly it falls, which is pretty cool. So since we're all in the same physics world, we're just going to say simulation tags and make the ground plane a ground plane, which, I mean, look how fun to do like a ship taking off or something like that with pyro. And here's and the only thing I did to the default setting is just switching going to the pyro output, temperature buoyancy, turning it down a little bit. And then something that we discovered a little while ago is pyro doesn't have to just function as as fire. You could do other bizarro things with it. So here's my idea, Seth. I want to generally create some ketchup right now. So I'm going to create a little sort of ketchup bottle thing. Here we go. This is the little tube. Let's rotate it maybe like this and move it up. Oh, it's quite a tube. All right, I'm just going to put my little pyro sphere in here. Let's move it up that direction. Perfect. And now if I tell my tube to be
keep that to yourself.
a collider. It's a new icon. It's a little brick thing, and I miss it sometimes. So here we go. So I'll press play on this. And now with this negative buoyancy, you're simulating something that like pours out of a tube, which is kind of cool because that's cool. So we got this.
Look at that.
Look at that. Pouring smoke out of a tube. And now something I feel like I'm using no words to describe what I'm doing. But one of the things that Seth and I experimented with a lot over the last 6 months or so is the volume builder and the volume mesher. So the volume builder is designed for basically like if you were, for example, if you had, a sphere and then maybe another sphere and you were making like a peanut or something like that. You might know like, well, this would be a good shape to sort of begin with or something like that. And if I have a volume builder object, I can grab these two spheres and drag them into it, and it'll create a voxel representation of them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And what's kind of nice is that like voxel volumes are basically what like pyro simulations are or volumetric simulations are. The fun thing with the volume builder is if you throw it into a volume mesher like this, then it doesn't look like anything happened, but you got a new mesh, and you can adjust the exciting like the threshold here. You can adjust the size of the voxels to kind of bloat it out like this, and so you come up with your Snoopy or your peanut shape. Look, it's both. You can't tell if it's Snoopy or a peanut. And then on top of that, if I press NB, I can show you like here's the basic way that it's put some little quads on it and whatnot. But if I throw this whole object, and these are all unbaked objects, which is pretty cool, unroasted peanuts, I can throw them into the remesh, which is ported over from Pixelogic's amazing Z remesher. And now look at this. Look at these beautiful seams.
That's nuts.
And so now under remesh, I could set the density to anything. I could set it to pretty low. If I wanted a very simple model, I could set it higher if I want it higher. I can say that I want it to be symmetric in the, let's see, I guess not X. Is it Z? Oh yeah, Z. I want it to be symmetric. So if you want to have nicely wrapped UVs or something like that, you can do that. And so Seth and I have been creating a lot of objects using this kind of a tool. And the fun thing about this is that they're like interactive. So like, look, you can have like water droplets that would come together or something like that, which is pretty neat. And on top of it all, like they still have really clean topology, which is crazy. So someone pointed out to me at work that, well, Pyro is just a volume, and we have something that wraps a volume in a mesh. And so immediately I ran over and I was like, great, I'll drag my Pyro into the mesh and I'll press play, and nothing really happened, unfortunately. And I was a little bit sad. Pyro is still on, so Pyro's still there, but it wasn't doing what I thought it would do. And it turns out there is a little trick to this. So the first step is to put your Pyro output into the volume mesher, and then you need to do a couple of things to the settings of your Pyro output. So here on the Pyro output object, I'm going to go to Pyro, and then let's see, over here under object, I'm going to say I want the density on, and I want everything else off, basically. And I could have temperature on too. Doesn't especially matter, but density and temperature on, these off. And under the Pyro scene, I'm going to uncheck draw Pyro and uncheck draw the bounding box. I don't really need that. And then let me see if I play this through. I don't remember if I need to also hide the Pyro object. I think I do. All right, I will now hide the Pyro object, just with a little traffic light switch right there. And then in the volume mesher, I've played forward until about here where there was some smoke pouring out. But on the volume mesher, if I turned this voxel range way down, look what happens. You start to get at very low numbers, or with this checkbox for use absolute value, which it loses any gradation, but can sort of amplify this effect. Look at this. We have some like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style volume, which is really fun. I can't hear you right now.
Sorry. First off, what? That looks incredible. Second, I wasn't listening. What did you do to get it to show up in the volume measure? And how many? If it was all those steps between you saying that and this, then I'm sorry.
No, I think that we should do it again real quick. So, so here are the. Let's see. Can I just set these to the default? All right. So default here is what we got. So you can set up your pyro, and you can even preview it with. Whoops, I didn't make this default again. Here we go. So you set up something like this, and you can always just preview it with the default pyro settings to know that you've got the general kinds of physics you want.
General physics.
Which in my general physics, general.
Mustard.
What is it? General
ketchup.
disorder
General
and
ketchup, general physics you want, and.
Isn't that from something like General Chaos or Admiral Chaos and General Disorder or something like that? Anyway, let me know in the chat if you know who those characters are from. But so here's something very simple to set up. It's just the default collider tags, the default pyro tag with one small change to it, which is going to the pyro object right here, pyro output, and setting the buoyancy to a negative value.
Oh, why?
If you set the temperature buoyancy to a negative number, it means that the hotter something is, positive buoyancy will float up and negative buoyancy will fall down. So if you want dry ice style thing.
That makes sense. I'm sorry. I thought that was the answer to the volume measure problem.
Oh, no. So here's so this setup is just your pyro object with the one change of a negative temperature buoyancy. And that doesn't matter. That's just because I want it to look like liquid pouring. And then I can create a volume mesher object. Actually, I'll create it from scratch. Create a volume mesher.
This was for a shot and sketch. Can you hint at
this is for my mild water sim around
it's the one
character.
You did, the one you did before. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So there was so you have a volume mesher default thing. You grab the pyro output and drag it into the volume mesher. Then you can turn off the pyro output, just make it invisible like this. And so now it knows. It's a little bit weird because this isn't exactly the standard viewport. So you turn it off here, and you also then go to your pyro output settings down here. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can uncheck draw pyro. And so now pyro is still active, but not visible. Okay. And now, instead of the pyro scene, I go over to the object tag, and I say that I want, for the object properties, I want the density on, and I want the temperature on. And now, if I go to my volume mesher and turn this threshold down to a pretty low number, or which I think it looks better, the low number in this, but you can also check this box for use absolute value, which means that every single pixel that is active becomes part of your volume.
Looks like mashed potatoes coming in.
So you can get this cool elephant toothpaste explosion if people know what that means. But right here, if you have this voxel threshold range, you can dial it down to these low numbers. And I find that there's a sweet spot around 10%. That ends up looking pretty nice and smooth. And on top of that, you can still work non-destructively by adding a subdivision surface and dragging your volume mesher into the subdivision surface, and maybe adding a little bit of smoothing before that happens.
I thought that said something. Adding a little something.
A little bit of something. We need more of that in our materials and such. Let me create.
By the way, overdue.
Oh, thank you. I'm just going to create a little red material with a very high Specular. Whoops. Thin with specular strength high. And now we'll throw that onto the subdivision surface. And look, we've got our general ketchup now.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
We've got our shining scene with ketchup. Oh, it's marvelous. And I mean, not for nothing. I mean, like all of our physics simulations are supposed to work together, right? Mm-hmm. Wait, I better save this ketchup pour. I never know what folder that is when I quickly save something for the show. Just so it's ending up somewhere. So look, here's our version of Nickelodeon, basically. Sorry, Michael.
Covered in blood.
Covered in blood. I don't even remember how much Michael likes ketchup, but I imagine not this much.
Or blood.
Or blood.
He loves blood.
Well,
I know that.
He loves blood. I mean, from the biological standpoint. This looks so curious. Why would you? I'm so sorry. Okay, but this is for physics and for science, really. So.
For physics and for science.
Roar.
Roar.
Look at that, just lovingly surrounding. It's so great. Look at that! It just parts the Red Sea here
with his face.
Hardcore. You're like, that's how you up the ante if you want to, compete with the Charlton Heston version. You got to go face first into these problems. So anyway, this is a very exciting way to do a mild, like liquid or mud, I guess, simulation in here. And what's kind of cool is that if you've frozen it on a frame and these are the volume measure and everything are kind of post effects because the pyro output is now known. So if you go to the volume measure, you can mess with, how much volume you're getting out of it, which is pretty cool. And there are some like values that will look really nice for a certain type of material. And then you get that all set up. And you can also go to your pyro output. And the thing that makes the smoke fade away, sort of like your particle lifetime, is under the pyro scene. And since we're using density primarily for all of this, if you go down here, there's this density relative dissipation. And so the higher that value is, the quicker it dissipates. And so if I turn this down to 0, you can see that there's this density. I think that that no matter what, it'll have some kind of limit based on the scene file. But if I turn the density dissipation down, these other particles will stay forever. And look at this kind of stuff.
Golly.
So those are some kind of cool, weird volumetric splashy things. But this turning down the density or the dissipation makes them stick around longer. And if you go down to velocity, you can turn up some velocity dampening over time. You can use a pretty small amount, like 6%. This will keep these voxels a little bit closer to each other from spreading out so much, because once they spread out to a density that is smaller than your threshold of the volume measure, they disappear. So that's what's killing them at the end of this. And if you turn this value all the way to 0, you're seeing pretty much everything, different. Or I guess if you really, really want to see everything, you can say absolute value of every particle that's around. But I just like having this, having a slider more than that. But here we go, everybody. Catch-up simulation.
Oh, this whole episode is a catch-up simulation because we knew what was going on with each other.
This is a summer catch-up episode, everybody.
Summer catch-up episode.
In fact, I could probably go to the simulation and turn up the gravity.
Spider-Man, turn up the gravity.
Spider-Man, turn up the gravity. Oh, we're back, everyone.
I love that we continue to reference a failed Broadway play that no one remembers.
Whether we are on the show or not, we like in our day-to-day life if we're ever working together, we can't help it. Anyway, I killed a lot of time with that, but I really love this effect. So
go to hell time. Killed it.
All right. That's perfect. Wait, I want to turn X-ray on. Here we go. X-ray. Oh, whoops. Did something weird there. Ooh, my ketchup is generating from the wrong point. What did I do?
Gross. Keep that to yourself.
Gross. Gross. If your ketchup generates from the wrong point, please. But look how interactive this is. This is so much. This is ridiculous to me. This is stuff that I feel like this isn't even a cinema strength of it. So I must have done. Did I move an anchor point? I don't know what I've done. On something. Oh, I probably moved the whole subdivision surface or mesher. Because I just moved the. Sorry, everyone. They actually are in sync. I moved the whole subdivision surface. It looks like a little melting Buddha now.
Ah.
But I love Play Blast editing. It's just the weirdest thing.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. We could watch that forever, but probably we should not, at least for just a moment. I'm going to check in on our comments because it's so wonderful. There are 50 of you here. It's amazing. And let's see, what if we? I'm trying to catch up. I don't know if you've caught up on anything in the background.
I looked at a few of them a second ago, but I got carried away trying to get these colliders to do what I want them to do.
Justin Leduc would prescribe a heavy dose of blood thinners. Which is fantastic.
Nice.
Love it. Oh, and Chris Ranos lets us know that there was on South Park. There was Commander Chaos and General Disarray. That was it.
Yeah, I never got into the South Park.
So great. So much South Park out there.
Much South Park out there.
There absolutely is. And that's our show, everybody.
There really is so much South Park out there.
Absolutely. But
this fan's it's starting to do what I want it to do a little bit.
Ooh, okay. I like when Seth experiments do the right thing.
It's I need it to go a little harder and faster. Let me see if I can. And
I'm just going to sit here silent after that. Nice.
Thank you. Silent after that. Now, I guess I wonder
what happens if you up the mass on the van a little bit?
Okay. Up the mass.
Up the mass.
Density or rotational mass? What do we think?
Rotational mass a little bit, and then in your go to your scene settings.
Custom mass. All right, I'll go to my scene settings.
Your scene settings, Control D or Command D, whatever.
Command D.
I think there's a dampening that you could maybe turn on and turn it to 15% and just see if that does much.
And
I just want the car to look heavier.
Oh, it worked.
Too heavy.
So would that be in dampening or would that be in the rotational mass?
Try turning the dampening back to 2.
I did the opposite.
See what happens. Either way is fine.
Okay.
Oh.
So let's go.
There's a specific combination of physics settings that actually bring something to life.
What the?
Oh.
What?
Wow. I don't know what I'm talking about, apparently.
I'm doing this because this is a pretty intricate model, and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm doing a mesh deformer with a...
Oh, that's clever.
With volume. So I should be looking at the volume while I do these, I guess. It goes boop, and gets stuck in there.
Oh.
So that would be iterations.
What are the collision sides on your mesh set to, by the way? Is it both or just front?
Oh, on the mesh, it's just it doesn't let you say.
Oh.
It's not a collider.
On a collider it doesn't. Okay.
Collision shapes.
Never mind.
Geometry accuracy.
Meh.
Okay, so
you could go to your scene settings and play with the collision properties or whatever.
Yeah. So let's do like 4 passes. Okay, that helps. Okay.
Nice.
What if I make the sphere animate even faster? Boom. Nope. Still getting stuck. So let's go in there.
Nice. I'm going to sneak over to Mixamo for a second and see if I can. I have an idea. Okay. Since we're playing with all the exciting physics and whatnot. Okay, Mixamo, will you make me log in? Of course you will. Of course you will. It's not like I was on here literally less than 24 hours ago. Let's see. I still got casual Hashi loaded in here.
I'm going to go to you.
I'm going to... sure.
And
let's find a simplified kind of character. Should I the default Mixamo character? That could be kind of fun. Actually, like what I actually want more than anything is just a simple. Here's Hashi. Here's the Hashi character on Mixamo. Oh, did my screen stop sharing?
It froze on loading. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there it is. That was weird. Actually, it was loaded on my screen, but not on Skype yet. Yep, here's Hashi, available in the character browser. But what do I want? I want like a simpler kind of character. Whatever. We'll just use default Mixamo, and then we'll go to animations. I'm going to look up, I don't know, scary. Here we go. We got some of these scary walks and things like that. Scary clown start walking. Scary clown idle. Let me turn the...
Scary clown Eric Idle.
Eric Idle. Have I told you my Eric Idle story?
No.
We had a presentation to do for Eric Idle, and I was in charge of... This is when I was a PA at DreamWorks, and I was supposed to be in charge of getting the room decorated and like our pitch materials and everything into it. And the meeting was after lunch. It was like a 1:00 meeting, and I was like, I got time for lunch, and then I'll decorate the room. And forgetting that if, like, when Eric Idle shows up, you just present.
Yeah.
So like I came back from lunch thinking that I had a full half hour to set up the room.
And he was there.
And opened the room to see Eric Idle and my producer sitting there, and my producer just gave the nicest like shrug and smile to look at me, and I just slowly closed the door, and just the rest of the day was just waiting for
being fired.
Yeah, the producer was awesome, Karen Foster, who came out and basically just said, "You know what I'd like to say to you," and I was like, "I do," and she was like, "Okay," and then
wonderful.
That was it. Very, very kind.
Wonderful.
So
that's
that was the only time I missed a presentation.
Oh my gosh,
so fun.
That makes me hurt inside.
Let's see. I'm trying. I want some kind of exciting. What's another motion that would have some exciting arm action? I don't want to. I just don't want to just do like a.
Well, there's falling. There's plenty of dancing.
There's falling. Oh, maybe one of the magic ones. I think magic have a bunch of just weird. I don't know what they're up to.
Yeah, magicians are weird.
There we go. They're so weird. Oh, we love them.
We do love them. We love magicians.
Attacks, things. Seth probably knows what I'm doing with this. I want to make a ghost. We're gonna make a ghost out of these things. So I don't care at all about what the action is. Really, I just want it to be something like mildly interesting. So this is what I'm going to go with. We're going to download this Mixamo model right here. And Seth, you're welcome to do stuff in the meantime.
I am. I'm just messing with this thing and not liking what I'm getting at the moment. That's how it goes.
That is how it goes with the physics sims. Ghosty dance. It's not really a dance. All right, so check this out. Let's do some more fun physics stuff, but it's seasonal because it is October, so we can get into this now. Oops. Let's tell. I don't know what I'm doing now. Let's go to the plane, and we'll make it a collider. You always need a nice little ground plane, and then let's import our Ghosty dance.
Ghosty dance.
So now I've got this very simplified character. The character is actually made up of, let's see, a surface and joints. Let's see what, so the surface would be these parts. So I don't need the joints. I'm going to just delete them altogether. And then on the surface, I'm going to add a collider tag. If your thing is animated and you have specific keyframes over it, you want it to be a collider. And then you can have it interact with something like a disk.
A disk?
A disk. And on this disk, I'm going to do NB so I can see my kind of wireframe, so I can imagine how this is sort of getting broken up. Let's say, spider web here. Let's do like 12 disk segments and 24 rotation segments. How does that look? It's a lot of segments, maybe a few more. Let's do 24 and 24. I want to go slightly simple, but also enough to get some good clothy motion. All right, so here's the basics. I'm just going to take my disk and say it's cloth now and just press play just to see what we get. Yes. The ghost. That was actually kind of dramatic and cool.
I'm a ghost. Yeah.
And but if this character were invisible, then that would be scary.
It would always be scary.
Always be scary. There's someone a while ago who did a great I don't remember if it was a green screen comp situation or if it was just if it was a cloth sim ghost where the ghost is clearly human-ish and then it falls away in a pretty convincing way. Oh, anyway.
The sheet does? That's, there's a killer shot in The Conjuring where a sheet in the windy storm like flies off the line and stops on like basically the shape of a person and then flies off and there's nothing underneath.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you're a real ghost, you have a lot of bendiness, and you have.
If you're out there and you're a real ghost, we will find you.
We will. So I'm turning up the mass. So just a frustrated, most frustrated ghost. Yeah. Oh, this is fun. I love this. Oh, this is so great. Okay. What do I need? I need. It looks like I need more bendiness. I don't really want any stretchiness. And one fun little trick that I can use is let's reveal our character for a second. I can. Let's see. I'm actually going to go to the bones on the character. So I'll open up the spine and dive down to where the head object is right there. And then on the disk itself, I'm going to go to point mode and let's see. Oh, I haven't baked it, which I'm going to do. There we go. Let's select just a small little group of these points right here. And then I'm going to go simulation tags, cloth belt. And then on the cloth belt tag, I'm going to say belt this onto the head and press set. Let me see. Does that work? Does it work if you Try setting it to a bone. Maybe I need an object in there. I don't feel like that worked. This poor ghost. Yeah, that did not work. Okay, so it has to be an object, and apparently, I don't know if there's a way to tell a bone from rigging to be an object, but there is a way to just add a little sphere here, and we'll scale it down. We'll drag the sphere here where the head is. It needs to be actual geometry, so I'll convert that over. Once you've dragged it into the hierarchy of the head, you can just go to the coordinates and zero out everything. And now you have a sphere inside the little skeleton head. And if I go back to my cloth belt, I can say, instead of the Mixamo head, belt onto the sphere and say set. There we go. That's what I was looking for, is this fun little springy halo that's going to pull the cloth right there to the head, basically. So now, let's press play again. Yay. Now we have our awesome ghost. And in fact, I can probably turn off the character again and then not worry so much about the interactions, because interactions don't really matter if you're just looking at this cloth.
In life,
but if you wanted to prevent this, you could always go into the you could use a simpler character that has less sharp bits to do that. And you could also go to the project settings under simulation and say that you want more collision passes. But I actually don't really. I'm going to turn up my damping a little bit because I like the amount of cool folds and things that I'm getting. Though it's still not bendy enough for me. I'm not getting that like draped ghost feeling. So to get the draped ghost feeling, what should we try? We should try turning the bendiness up and the mass even heavier. Oh, that was cool. Maybe a little bit of stretchiness, but not too much, because the stretchiness eventually gets in the way. It always does.
It's like the hook.
Mm-hmm. Brings you back.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's make the background a little bit more black. We're gonna add there we go. Now it's a little ghost. I'm gonna turn off this cloth belt. It doesn't need to always draw. And I wonder if I should just make this sphere also a collider and then make it bigger. I'm totally just goofing off at this point, people, so you're welcome to stop me, Seth and or audience.
No, I don't know what I'm doing with this, with these physics here, and I can't get this van to do what I want it to do.
What? Van?
It's either flying everywhere or just like sliding and getting stuck in one place.
What is the what are your settings for what is the scale in here going on?
It looks a little something like this person.
Okay. So that's why.
I could make it bigger. Yeah.
Scale up the whole scene.
Scale the
You can group everything up. There is a scale project function, I think, under the if you open up the commander, but there's nothing like doing this, right? Look at that. Make that the size of make that van. You know words.
Yeah, make that man the size of that van. And now we go like this. Where's my van? Why is it? What the hell?
Oh, you did scale up the animation too.
Oh, I know why. It's because I did. No, I didn't scale up the animation. I just scaled up the objects. Hang on. Animation. Get away from me, fly. I'll murder you in your sleep.
During this little off-season break, like a la Breaking Bad, there was a fly that got into Seth's office, and I believe it is the same one that has been there for
it's so
7
stupid.
weeks.
Wait, this thing got stuck before that. Before I did any of this.
What?
What the hell is going on here? Why are you stuck there? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, good.
Now, we will...
I'm so curious to see how this goes.
Me too. So if I add my person, and then a null, put everything but the person in the null. I need the model too, Seth. And then say, go huge. All right, that looks about right. Now,
there you go.
Take it all out of that null. Then we're just going to make sure our remesh, our mesh is, we're going to initialize. And we're going to see what happens when we boop.
Skylang was noticing that as you get frustrated, you have your southern accent comes out. The southern accent of slight frustration.
Damn it to hell, Bobby. It's the King of the Hill voice I go into. I never even watched King of the Hill. I just know that damn it, Bobby is the funniest way to say damn it.
It really is. I'm doing something very silly over here that I can show also. I was thinking that it could be fun to... this character has like fingers and stuff like that, like a lot of things that could collide with poorly with the cloth. So I was thinking, oh look, I've created this like Rorschach character or Spaceballs, the Spaceballs uniform. But I dragged the character into the volume builder where I can kind of adjust the size of these voxels. The smaller they get, the closer they represent the original shape. But I can put them into something like that and then turn up the volume measure. And so your result is more like a big character like that. So I'm going to take the collider tag off of the this thing, which is a little bit more points in it, and set it to this volume measure, which is a little bit smoother. And if I were to, I could even add smoothing to this, which is fun. There we go. It's a nice, very smooth thing. I can maybe set the adaptive up a little bit. Oh, that's so cool. I mean, even this is a cool looking character. What do I want? Right around like here, maybe. And then on this slider, I'm going to say that I want it to be, okay, no stick and low friction. That's what I'm going to say. And then we'll go ahead and play that like this. Dodo! What have I done?
What have you done?
No, it's possible that this volume measure, because it's dynamic, the points are all shooting around every frame or something like that. Instead of, so I might need to like bake this as an alembic or something like that. No, that's getting heavier than I meant to. I'll just attach some spheres to her hands. Actually, I'm going to mute myself for just a second.
Oh no!
I'm just getting called, I think, by Sophia in the kitchen, and I'm just going to figure out what's going on here.
All right. Well, I am going to real quick. I was in the middle of an OBS thing, so I'm just going to vamp for a second while I finish this task I was doing, because I just realized I forgot to do something for the end of the show. And I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to be like, okay, that's done. And we can go back to my screen where I'm going to continue trying to... Oh, I do want to call out real quick. Justin Leduc, your comment, Mixamo every 4 hours. I've never seen this man in my entire life. Made me an actual laugh in real life while I was reading it. Anything else in the comments? No, you guys are pretty quiet. All 62 of you are fairly quiet. And that's 62 that are logged onto all the channels across the board. If you're watching this on the Maxon Training Team channel or another channel, or weirdly the Red Giant's Twitter /X account, that's cool. That's fine. the main chat's going on Red Giant News YouTube channel. Go to that thing. Or Red Giant YouTube channel. Is it still Red Giant News? Shouldn't be. Go to it and live. So, still trying to figure out the physics on this van. And I'm going to turn down the rotational mass and see what happens. Boop. Nothing helped me. Let's do mass back up to 3. I don't know what I'm doing. I am just twisting things until something breaks. And, okay, that rotated. But it flew really far and high. Wait, so the higher I make the mass, the farther up in the air this thing goes? What? The damping is really high. And boop. What the heck? So if I turn the mass down, then it does this. Still moving slow. Wonder why. Let's go to density instead of mass. Hashi, are you back yet? Oh, you are.
Oh, I've been sitting and commenting on mute. Sorry, everyone. I had so many great bespoke jokes that worked in that moment only.
The density, I assume, was what popped.
You are my
into
density,
you.
of course.
Yeah.
Like that's unusual for Hashi now to have.
Man, I don't understand our own program because I'm bad at life.
Not because you're bad. You're figuring it out. We're all here learning together. This is a harm-free environment unless you're Michael.
It's true. Oh, Michael. What the? That was a weird way to react to a collision. Rotational mass. I hardly know her. Okay, that's not doing anything.
Works for everything. This is the frontier of fun.
What's great is it does not work for everything at all.
Absolutely does not.
How you doing over there?
Check it out. We got this little ghosty.
There you go.
Let's see. Ghosty. And one thing that I could do is I could my favorite White Stripes song. I could go to nice. Let's see, what am I going to? I'm going to the dresser properties of the cloth tag, and I'm just going to say, relax, 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 relax. Chill. And actually, I could have probably set the steps to higher there, but now I'm going to uncheck dress mode because I don't like seeing the little things on there. But now I can play from here. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't say set initial state. Whoops. Okay, so we'll show that again. You can go to the dresser tab, turn up the number of steps or frames you want it to relax. And I'll say relax for 78 frames or something. So you're like that. And then I'm going to uncheck dress mode. And I'm also going to say set initial state right there. And now when I press play, we can have the whole ghosty action start right here.
I love that. It's like, oh yeah. What up, ghost?
What up? I'm a ghost. What are you going to do about it?
Come at me.
Silly ghosts. They're all so... Actually, I feel like in actuality, they're very lame. Like they're not good communicators. Like if you want me to know,
Hashi challenges all ghosts.
It was actually your current father who actually killed me,
right and the
treasure is buried under the well.
Of October, you're just like kicking it off by challenging ghosts to
come at me, ghosts. I ain't scared of any of the ghosts, as they say.
I love that you made it all like you refined the grammar except the one word that isn't a word.
I know.
I ain't afraid of any of you ghosts.
Not one bit.
Not one single bit.
I know just who I'm going to contact.
So, Hashi, I do have one thing to say about this ghost. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, everybody.
It is now 1:52.
Share your physics sim ghosts.
Yeah, share your physics sim ghosts. And then tell us a little bit what you want this season also. Feel free to drop in the comments. Michael will see them. He'll tell us. He'll be back. But he'll be back only if you go on social media. Post a picture of Michael and say, "We miss you, Michael. Please come back." And tag him. And then hashtag VFX and chill. That is our show this week, but please go on the comments and tell us what kind of stuff you want us to do this season, what you want us to talk about, blah, 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 blah. And we will listen, because we always do, because we care and we love you very much. Hashi, got anything you want to say before we go?
Just that I would love y'all to join me next Friday. Where I'm doing a solo show, VFX and solo show. Not positive what I'm going to show off in there. I could show off a script that I was going to today, and I forgot about it.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot that I had content.
You should do that.
But yeah, so I'll show that off to everybody. It's a bit of 2D animation tool for everybody to use. But yeah, that's the teaser for that. And it's so good to be back, everybody.
It is very good to be back. So Hashi, we'll see you next week. I will see you in 2 weeks. I'll be back. The show will happen with just Hashi. And is this your first solo show?
It might be. I feel like I always manage to like drag somebody into it.
It's lonely. Check out my solo show from season 3 if anyone wants to
absolutely
feel very sad and learn about Cinema 4D tracking. Hey everyone, thank you. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.